Hey, what's going on? My name is Fred Smith, and I want to welcome you to the Mind's Eye podcast and YouTube channel. I'm doing my best here to just really help people who need help. And what I've discovered in the marketplace is there's a lot of noise. There are tons of people who may give out half truths instead of complete, accurate information. And as a result of this, there's now more advertising and marketing noise than ever on the planet. Anybody can grab a computer, grab a credit card, run an ad, and magically they're expert. Well, I'm here to tell you today that literally, if that's you and you want help on doing that, so that you can monetize it and you're a good person and you have good values and beliefs and you just want to get a decent message out so that you can just start marketing and advertising like crazy, then this podcast is for you. I've got to warn you though, it's not like any other podcast you've seen. I don't know what other podcasts are out there. I have very little reality on what's currently being taught and trained in the marketplace. I'm just now starting to hear about certain names that a lot of famous people know or talk about, or the bottom line is there's a lot of wars out there and everybody's trying to row their boat. So what I want to be able to do is to help you row your own boat so that you're able to really focus and get the job done. So I have an insane, crazy database of like different friends, for lack of a better word, who I've made over the years, or I've just recently befriended, that I really want to have you really understand what makes them tick. Like, how did they become the top performers that they are today? I'm hoping that this will be a living, breathing shortcut for you, because as we're reading sometimes in these biographies, sometimes they're not always accurate. Sometimes things have been cut out on purpose. And sometimes things just aren't workable, even though they might have worked a while back. What I want to specifically focus in on are principles, because principles are timeless. Principles are what makes things move. This is like the operating system behind a lot of things, is when you understand the concept of principles. And from there, you can take that piece of 24 karat gold and you're able to apply it into your everyday life right now, be it personally or professionally. This kind of material should be available for everybody to help them basically move closer to what they want and start chopping off parts of things that they don't want. Ultimately, I want people to have the best North Star in their life as to what inspires and motivates them so that they keep moving forward. Because who motivates the motivator? Who leads the leaders? And sometimes leaders get lost because as pioneers, they forget to turn around and turn back. And that's one of the reasons why this podcast exists. For a lot of my friends, family, and associates who are going to show up here, they remembered us. They're the human beings who are reaching back, and in exchange for that, they're getting fulfillment in their lives as well. To really see top performers remembering why they were so great in the first place, that makes me happy. You know, to really have a nice, real conversation, to be like, look, somebody called in on this right here. They need help with this. And it's awesome to have a different viewpoint, because iron really does sharpen iron. So I'm always looking for like top level performers who are currently doing it in the marketplace. They don't necessarily have to be like well known. There's a difference between being a celebrity versus being a leader. You can have celebrity leaders, true. But what I'm mainly looking for are people who want to share the love and give us a little bit of that secret sauce. Because I've had more comments from the people who I've talked to and interviewed go, man, I totally forgot about that. Like, it's a defining moment for us all, which is also it's so super important to remember why you started on your journey in the first place. Doesn't matter if you're an employee, doesn't matter if you're self-employed, doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, expert, high ticket coach, consultant, all of these things. If you want to help people, then you are my people. And I want you to really take these lessons and these dimes, as they're called now. I don't even know what that means, but I've been taught I need to be a little bit more hip. But what I'm working on is essentially also showing you a part of my journey as well. A little bit about my background. I successfully scaled up several companies in the automotive industry from zero to a few hundred million. They all went to multi-billion-dollar companies and are still in existence to this day. And I want to thank people behind the scenes who helped me operate and get to those levels, because it was truly a blessing to really see a lot of this intellectual property being developed from scratch, and to also know that I had a significant part in helping develop it. So thank you so much for that. I also want to thank my original mentor, which is my mom. You always have to remember mom, and my dad, who's no longer here. I would love to just thank both of them for their patience with me, because I know now that I was a pretty tough kid for them to help grow and develop into the man that I am today. And one of my other world mentors, when I first started leaving the scene of Chester, PA, is Mr. James Ellison. It was at that point in time where I was struggling with homelessness, didn't really have a place to go. I didn't realize how much my mom and dad loved me. And I was subsequently went on the road and did some crazy things, positively crazy things, more specifically helping to run a magazine crew. And if anybody has done door-to-door sales, you know how absolutely incredible that kind of skill set is. But Mr. Ellison was very kind. He was very gentle. And he also commanded a lot of big presence, because when you're talking about the caliber of people who were on the road at that point in time, then you truly understand the kind of genius that you have to be to not only be able to coach them, but to train them and manage them up. So I worked with him directly for several years. And from there, I joined the Marine Corps because I needed structure. It got to a point where I couldn't handle all the power and responsibility that came with that at such a young age. So I went into a different direction and I joined the Marine Corps. And from the rest, as they say, is history. And I learned this insane knowledge base from top level military schools. And it accelerated my progress and my development into what I'm doing today. I've worked with several well-known celebrity entrepreneurs, as well as working with an upstart ad tech platform, and help them recalibrate and get back to multiple six-figure monthly recurring revenue. I've worked as a setter, as a closer. I've done a lot of the more technical things online when it comes to advertising and marketing, so I'm pretty well versed in that, as well as going to India's #1 digital school for 6 months, even though it was a 4-month program. And I was able to finish up first for 2023. So thank you so much for all the opportunities to really get out here, shine and grind and grow, and know that a lot of people need this knowledge base. And there's a lot of leaders who really want to help their tribes, their villages, their organizations, their teams. So that's who this is for. This is for anybody who has been either identified as a leader or they self-identify as a leader, because I know when I grew up, I didn't want to I didn't even know what a leader was, but I did go to American Red Cross Leadership Development Center, which was cool. I did that when I was about 13. So I guess everything's coming back full circle. And what I want to be able to do is to really share with you my experiences, my trials, my tribulations, because it all didn't come with the glamour and fame associated with it. I was crying in my 15 cars and, always missing my family because I was home 6 or 7 days out of the month. And I'd go to the hotel room and lock myself up. It was just one of those things where it was very much a hell for me and didn't even realize it at that point in time. But that's what genius is. It's just you're in your own blind spots. But through that time, it also led up to a brief drug addiction. And I was able to clean myself up and help others get through the effects of hard drugs. And I'm talking about some very hard stuff. And one thing that I definitely learned and observed was that even at different levels, there's always going to be different devils. And without a purpose, then it's hard to be happy. And that's what I focus in on right now. Just pillars to happiness, helping people out, really doing people a solid, and the people who are really ready to invest in themselves so that they can invest in others. That's what this Mind's Eye podcast is all about. So I just want to thank you so much for your time. You could spend your time and energy anywhere. And if you really want to go deeper into what I do, you can go to speedscaling.com. If you have any questions, you can go to askfredsmith.com. And if you're ready to book a call and talk more, then you can go to contactfred.com. And either me or teammate will be more than happy to talk to you to see if and how we have a match. Because quite frankly, I know that the content material that I talk about is totally next level. I focus in on a lot of science and tech and research and development because that's quite frankly the lane that I came from. But I was able to really execute on a lot of the research and development. And I think this is where people miss it. So a lot of my humanity and my story comes from my failures, and some of them could have been fatal had I not had a mentor. So I'm super thankful, honored, and grateful that I am on a path where even mentors have mentors. And that's what this whole process is designed for. It's designed for the mentors, and people who want to lead and people who are forced to lead, because I do believe that as well. Sometimes you're just by default like that person, right? And you don't know what to do next, but people are relying and dependent upon you to help them. They are expecting you to blaze a path for them. And as a pioneer, we sometimes get the arrows in our back, but that's because the people are trying to wake us up. Hey, we need your help. So it's all feedback, and depending upon how you look at it, it's just one of those things where I just want to change the world in my own positive way. And I really am thankful and grateful and honored that you've taken the time to listen. So if there's any specific things that you want to hear about, any specific topics, anything that you would like to really get help on personal, professional level, because to me, everything is mindset. It all starts with mindset. And what we want to do is take those formulas and apply the formulas to our mindsets to get the outcomes. So that's my own opinion, my own bias, my own belief, but I've done it enough to really say that with authority and confidence. So my challenge to you is always to challenge what I'm saying and to really just test it out and let me know how it works for you. So much love, and I look forward to just really rolling out an amazing program for you. So thank you kindly, and we'll chat soon.